Hi, Bubbles. Hey, we're live. Hey, good morning. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum here. Hope you're doing well. My daughter's upstairs going to school and working hard, so we have to be very, very quiet. Shh. Right, Bubbles? Yeah. She's like, I don't have to be quiet. Anyway, hey, happy holidays. I hope everyone's doing well. The cold that's going through everything, and I say that because I don't want to get flagged, but everyone's working remotely, doing weird things, a lot of change happening. And I just want to share the topic today, happiness time. I was listening to a podcast with Nada Buhendi, and talking about, it was on that show called The Happy Engineer. There was a podcast, and it reminded me a couple of things that were triggering my brain the other day. And part of me, I noticed I did the OKR presentation the other day, and I was listening, and I hear this noise. I'm like, what is it? It's Betty behind me snoring. So you could maybe laugh. It's like, oh God, I could hear the dog snoring the entire time when I was doing the OKR lecture or the discussion with Agile PA. So it was kind of funny. It's in this. I tried to cancel the noise out on the audio. I don't know how effective I was. I might have caused some of the volume to go down in some of the places, but it is what it is. It just made me laugh that like that dog's in the video. You want to be in the video, Bubs? Bubbles looking. Here, come here, Bubs. Want to say hi to everyone? Here, come here, big boy, big girl. Oh, there she is. There's the Bubbles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's having a good time. She's purring. She just likes the attention. She likes to have daddy time. Anyway, so this is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. It's a little bit later. It's the holidays. Kids are out. Poor kid. He's the only one on the bus. But it's a half day for them, so that's great for them. On the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, we talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical and tactical way. And I want to propose a new event for Scrum. Because I realize Scrum is too business-like sometimes. And I want to propose a new event called the Happy Time event. So that's my new one. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. And I'm going to share some experience I've had through my career where organizations did have Happy Time. And share that with it, what worked, what didn't work. What that maybe you can use for your team and yourself and your own life to make you happy. Because what do? We want to make sure, one, you're producing value to the team. And if everyone's grumpy and just like Steve Jobs and no one likes you because you're maybe brilliant, but you're not happy, no one's going to want to work with you, right? And we want to do it so you don't work in crazy hours. And if you're working crazy hours, you're not going to be happy. And we want you to get your home to family and friends, because those are probably people you're really close to or should be in your life and throughout your entire life. 80, 100 years, hopefully. God bless. Everyone lives a long time. I want to live to 133 years old. That you meet enough family and friends in your life that you enjoy your long life, right? What you doing, Jer? What's up? Jerry's here. Want to be on the show too, Jer? Come here. Oh, there you go. Oh, he's in the show. Betty's moving. Hi, Betty. Everybody's moving around. We got a little turmoil coming in here. A boy came down. The other boy in the house, Jer. Anyway, so we want everyone to be happy and enjoy things, and have some fun. We do talk about fun on the show. So I'm going to talk a little fun stuff today. We'll talk about a happy time in some places that I see. So it was funny. I was listening to Nada talk, and she was talking about how she worked all these hours and spent these long times in a hotel working on stuff. And in the end, they actually fired her from the job because I don't know why, but they did. Customer didn't like her, probably because she was pushing the customer more than they wanted to be pushed, maybe. And they're unrealistic goals, and you got to change that. Anyway, that's a different topic, different story. But happy time. So years ago, I worked for one company, a big company that does networking computers. And at night when I would leave, a couple teams I noticed they had these big screen TVs. I mean, giant things. I would be jealous for my own house, which I don't have anything that big in my own house. And they would play video games together. So there would be about 10, 15 developers on the team or the whole team or maybe a couple teams. Actually, a couple teams would get together that they didn't necessarily work together all the time, but maybe they work remotely in different parts of the building and stuff like that. And they would gather every other week or so. And they were in there playing video games, testing the software on their systems, right? And see how good it worked. And, I'm like, yeah, you know what? If it makes you happy, do it. And that's the attitude everyone should have. And then one of the things I mentioned the other day when I was doing the OKR thing, you can tell leaders who they are. Because I like to introduce, do a little icebreaker, an hour, just wake up, drink some coffee, get to know people and all that kind of stuff. Do some fun things, something just goofy, right? Just totally off the way goofy because, it sets off different brain patterns in your head. And that was the first thing. Well, we don't need to do it. I'm like, yeah, you do. You definitely need to do it. If that's your attitude, then you definitely need to do it. The first thing you take away is the fun part of the day, or just have some icebreaker stuff and just relax to get to know people and just relax and get yourself into the thinking process, then you really definitely need to do it. And I've had a lot of times teams over time, the best working teams, to be honest with you, are the ones that do this happy time. And I worry that they'll be required. Now, here's a key. And I'll give you a couple. I'm going to give you a key of making this work. And then I'll talk about some more good experience I had with the happy time. One of the keys is that your team's not working 60, 70 hours a week. You're no way on the God's green earth are going to be able to propose a happy time if your teams are working crazy hours. Because you know what? They don't want to spend more time. They work long enough as it is. Trying to propose happy time into a group of people that are already working 60, 70 hours a week, it's not going to fly. It may fly. Maybe everyone has no other life but in work and they're just there. So they're like, cool. But it doesn't help their pay rate, right? Because we talked about that before. You work 80 hours and you were making $50 an hour. Technically, now you're making $25 an hour because it's really half your rate because you're doubling the time. So trying to implement happy time in a place where you're working over crazy is not going to work. And maybe as a Scrum Master, you should propose your team, look, I would like to have some happy time. But to get there, I need to get it so we're all working a regular, sustainable pace and we can get out of the office at a decent time, right? That's what we need to get to. Once we get there, let's do some happy time. Let's free up some time. Let's lean up our process. Take an hour of that time and make it happy time and enjoy each other's company. Do some stuff, share some video games. And you need to do that. So without getting the team to working a decent time and understanding that they shouldn't overcommit, they need to get a sustainable pace to get where they're going, you can't have it. It's just not going to be flying. Like I comment all the time. People want to do lunch and learns. I'm like, why do I need to give up my lunch to learn something? I don't think that unless it's going to help my career and another job in another place and make me more money, then that would be a different story. But most people don't want to do lunch and learns. Maybe if it's how to make cocktails for holiday parties, that might get everybody interested in doing lunch and learns, right? So those are the two things. Lunch and learns don't work. If your team's working 60, 70 hours, you can't get to this happy time. But now on the happy time factor. So a couple of times, like I said, that one place, they made some really amazing software. One of my other teams I had is that for retrospectives, we would go out to local restaurants and dessert places here in Philadelphia as a group. We enjoyed that. And I think my team was one of the most productive teams there from what we were doing. There was a corporate team that was kind of doing similar stuff. We were blowing them out of the water. As much stuff was content we were doing and things we were producing and metrics and dashboards and capability and doing stuff with the data. We were really doing well. And I think that's because we had fun. We enjoyed what we were doing. It wasn't like a rigor, like crazy hours. So, and then I got another one, latest one. We do a little Agile, a little fun time with a bunch of coaches. And what's fun about it, we tweak it to be a little business-like, but how we use it, how can we introduce fun activities in with our teams. What can we learn? What can we stretch ourselves? See, this is another stretch. It's like we rotate who's in charge of bringing a new fun event into this thing. And we do it once a sprint, towards the end of the day. And we try to get everyone to go. And the idea is, let's bring something fun that we can all do and enjoy. The other day, I brought in Agile Bingo, where I said, okay, we're going to play bingo. And in here, we can have cards, and you can use this to help coach teams and train teams. And if you were taking a PSM test or something like that, it was a bunch of questions from the Agile, the Scrum Guide, right? So I made this Agile Bingo, which I did a show on. So we did that. I did a couple of things, and just to have some fun, just to break up the monotony, do something different, just expand the mind, have a little fun. We played video games. I want to do more video games, remote video games. So if anybody has any suggestions for remote video games that pretty much anyone can do, maybe you do it via your phone or something like that, you join in and play. That would be great. Please send them my way. But those are the kind of things that just breaks it up and have some fun and relax and not worry about work all the time, and give you a chance to play and team up on things, build team activities outside. Because they always say, oh, we'll do, remember when they used to do, what do you call them, growth courses or something like that, teaming courses, stuff like that. So I just wanted to share that with you. I really do believe that, and I don't want to make it a forcing function, but maybe we do need it, because you know, however they do the 3 questions, they took them out of the Scrum Guide because everyone was literally asking those 3 questions. And it's like, no, it's just an example of 3 questions you might ask to spur conversation among everyone on the team. I think maybe we need to add a new Scrum event called Happy Time to the Scrum Guide. And it's a new event that happened once a sprint. And you take a time, a half hour, an hour is good. And you just relax and do some teaming activities that have nothing to do with it. Because I don't want to take it away from the retrospective. I don't want to take it away from the retrospective where you're supposed to use that to help improve how you do things, right? So my introduction is, I had another event called Happy Time. And with that, it's the happy holidays. And I want to wish everyone happy holidays, happy scrumming. Maybe you can make it a little more fun come the new year. Reflect on, maybe once a month you do some just team activities. It doesn't have to be every sprint. Maybe it's once a month that we just spend an hour and play some games or something. I think, though, the more you do it, just like a sprint, the more times you do it, the better it's going to work for your organization. It's going to catch you off that you're working too many hours and you need to stop it. So with that, Jerry, say goodbye. Jerry says, good boy, I don't have a sweater on today. Daddy took my sweater off because you had it on for like a month. Anyway, I take care, everyone. Enjoy, and see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Yeah.